Good evening. Molweni Khoyanand, by the powers vested in me, I hereby constitute this graduation ceremony of the Cape Peninsula University of Technology. You may be seated.
Before we begin the ceremony, can we join together in a moment of silence for private prayer and meditation? And please, can we also, in our prayers, put a student, we have just lost a student, Mr. Mboyani Mzuwakele. He's a student from tourism management in Cape Town. Can you put the family and friends in our prayers? Thank you. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Prince Nevutalu, distinguished guests, our guest speaker, Dr. Thandi Mgwebi, members of staff, parents, friends, and most importantly, all our graduates. Good evening. Molweni, Khoyanand, dames and herren. Welcome to this joyous occasion where we celebrate the achievement of all those who will be graduating tonight. This is a very special evening for all of you, representing the culmination of years of study, hard work, and sacrifice. Sacrifices not only on the part of you, the graduates, but also of parents, partners, and family members who provided financial and moral support throughout your study period. So this ceremony represents a celebration of a collective effort of all who contributed to your achievement. This year, we will be awarding 6,819 diplomas and degrees in 12 graduation ceremonies, which are taking place on both our Cape Town and our Belleville campuses. At these ceremonies, we will be awarding 73 master's degrees and 16 doctoral degrees. Tonight, we'll be conferring qualification on candidates in the Faculty of Engineering, a faculty that has made great strides in advancing research and innovation at the institution. Of the 7 research niche areas at the institution, funded by the National Research Foundation, 4 are in engineering. The faculty has established a number of research centers, such as the Center for Instrumentation Research, the Flow Process Research Center, Advanced Manufacturing Technology Laboratory. The faculty is also a home to 2 successful technology stations, fully funded by the Technology Innovation Agency, or TIA for short. The latest station is Electronics AMTL Technology Station. It is actually known for unmanned aerial vehicle that they are making. And of course, our only spin-off company, wholly owned by CPUT, UAV Sys Pty Ltd. From this station, out of 10 patents filed in the past 2 years in this faculty, 6 are from this particular AMTL unit. We also have a second station, the Clothing and Textile Technology Station. The faculty is extremely involved in commissioned work, contract research, commercialization, and spin-off creation. The faculty is also promoting our technology transfer and research uptake and utilization agenda. the faculty also initiated a postgraduate program in satellite engineering with strong international partnerships. And with the support of the Department of Science and Technology, we have actually managed to launch the very first satellite. More recently, the faculty received more than 100 million from the National Skill Fund to establish the first South African Renewable Energy Technology Center, that is referred to as Ceratec for short. This is the very first of its kind on the continent, and the training, recruitment, and building is happening as we speak with the support of GIZ in Germany. Vice Chancellor, I was recently asked a rhetorical question. What is the biggest achievement of CPUT in the last 2 years? It is without doubt the launch of our satellite, Tshepiso. Being awarded 106 million to build Ceratec is the second one. And of course, being awarded our very first research chair by the National Research Foundation through its SACHI program. It is noteworthy to record this first for CPUT achievement for our history and for the future generation. The Cape Peninsula University of Technology is currently the largest university in the Western Cape with over 33,000 students, including a strong contingent of international students representing more than 70 countries across the globe. Our vision is to be at the heart of technology, education, and innovation in Africa. And we believe that through technology and innovation, we will be able to address critical issues relating to economic and social development, both in this region and nationally. We believe as an institution in the strong, vibrant, and robust national system of innovation. We believe that in order to build a very robust national system of innovation, we'll have actually to contribute to the sectoral system of innovation in the Western Cape. As alumni of this institution, we hope that you'll also commit to this vision, a vision of making a giant leap from a good to a great university, a vision of turning CPUT into a world-class university, a vision of building a model university of technology, a vision of embracing student centricity in total. Many of you will go on to occupy influential positions in commerce, in industry, and in the public sector. But we sincerely hope that you will not forget the community from which you come. We hope that you will use your special skills and your influence to put something back into those communities and to help contribute to the development, together we hope that you will help us realize our goal of creating futures, not only for our students, but for the broader society as well. We hope that you will continue to support this institution and that your future professional development will take place here. With the rapid pace of change and the globalization of knowledge, it will become imperative that you continue to upgrade your knowledge and skill on a regular basis. And we hope that we at the Cape Peninsula University of Technology will have a role to play in your lifelong learning. We know that our alumni are our greatest ambassadors. That is why your success is so important to us. We are proud of what you have achieved thus far and sincerely hope that we have helped to place you on a trajectory that will lead you to even greater success in the future. Congratulations once again on your fine achievement. We salute you as graduate of the Cape Peninsula University of Technology and wish you continued success and everything of the best for your future. Thank you, Nkosi Bayadanki. Vice Chancellor, it is now a great pleasure to introduce our guest and our friend, Dr. Thandi Mgwebi. Dr. Thandi Mgwebi holds a PhD in cell and developmental biology from the medical sciences at the University of Cape Town. She did her postdoctoral research in medical virology at University of Cape Town. Currently, Thandi is the Executive Director, Institutional Engagement and Partnership Development at the NRF, and is also acting as an Executive Director for Human and Infrastructure Capacity Development, HICD, at the NRF. Prior to joining the NRF, Thandi was at the Medical Research Council, where she was responsible for research capacity development. Thandi possesses vast experience in teaching at higher education institutions. She served as a member of the Ministerial Task Team in Mathematics and Science, appointed by the Minister of Higher Education and Training, whose task is to lead the design, implementation, and monitoring, as well as evaluation of Math Science Foundation programs in South Africa. Dr. Mgwebi is a member of the Advisory Board for South African Institute of Mathematical Sciences, or what is known as AIMS. Her passion of capacity development has been shown by a number of initiatives that she introduced at the National Research Foundation. A typical example will be the Postdoctoral Research Forum and the Medical Research Council's annual Research Day. Dr. Mgwebi is a dynamic person and holds the Management Development Program, or MDP as is known, from the University of Stellenbosch Business School, or UCB. It is now my great pleasure to welcome and call Dr. Mgwebi to come and address us.
Good evening. Mr. Vice Chancellor, Dr. Prince Nebutalo, members of academia, graduates and families and colleagues. It is with a special joy that I was invited and now am speaking at a treasured moment in the lives of graduates and of the university. The congregation of graduates here today is testimony of our effective crusade in the shaping of our nation and the result of the combined labor and love of many. Students, staff, parents, members of council, and everyone who have contributed much to realize this moment. And in this regard, I take this opportunity to congratulate today's graduates, as well as the numerous persons who have facilitated their learning experience. Today, we are officially promoting an emerging group of leaders and nation builders to another level and another level of service, for which I am confident that they have been more than adequately prepared. I would like to refer this as a time between the times for the graduates. It is a time where you have left where you came from as a person who joined CPUT, and you are going to another level, but you haven't reached your destination. I'm going to use an analogy from cell biology, which is my background. And after this analogy, before Dr. Nebutalo confers the degree to you, you'll be asked a question, so you better listen carefully. As a developmental biologist, I tend to see things from a developmental biology lens, which is a cell biology lens. In developmental biology, we observe in great detail physical and cellular changes in cell shape, in form, changes in environmental conditions. This is with it during embryonic development, after the fertilization of the egg in the womb. So I'll give you a quick crash course in developmental biology. We examine cell development and learn a number of stages in cell development. After the fertilization of the egg in embryonic development, the cells undergo major changes. One of the first is the cells is a cluster of cells, and it's called totipotent cells, which means the cells can become anything. They can become a muscle, they can become a foot, they can become epithelial, they can become skin. But then the time goes on, they change. And they go on to a stage where they are called multipotent, which means now they can become any cell type, not just any cell. And then later, they go on to another stage where they are now called determined. So they are determined cells who know where they're going. And later on, the last stage is now where they are committed cells. So they've been committed now to go and become whatever organ that they need to be. If they're going to be a kidney, they are now kidneys. Whatever you do, you can't change them. But the environment plays a big role. They need a supportive environment to do that. Should you want to change them as an experimental biologist, then they will die. Today, I see the changes in our country through this lens. The country has undergone dramatic changes, societal changes, political changes. And relevant to you here, we've undergone changes in the higher education system and the science system. Steep changes, challenging changes in the system. But through nurturing environments, we find universities and centers of excellence determined to become true centers of excellence. It is through enabling environments that this is achieved. The CPUT is but one story. Now, as graduates, you are celebrating. What is graduation? Graduation is a time of celebration. It's a time of celebrating your achievement. And this calls for three things. I'm calling for celebration and not to be shy to celebrate. Secondly, it's the call to pursue our dream of a South Africa that we had envisioned, and to do so with excellence and with urgency and with determination. Thirdly, it's the call to redefine our values and anchor our efforts on a strong ethical foundation. So when I talk about celebration, we cannot celebrate when we do not know where we come from. We need to know where we come from. As a country, we are a country that should be celebrating. We have left where we were, and we haven't landed where we're supposed to be. Do not forget where this country comes from. It was a land of white masters and black servants. It was a land of dispossession and conquest. It was a land where the Western culture was idolized as of superior value, and everything African was denigrated as inferior, as savage and worthless. It was a place where many called it home. But in this home, people's dignity was undermined, and certain races were insulted. It was a land of the deification of others. You may recall Sir George Cathcart, Sir George Grey, Colonel John McLean. These are the names that some of our towns are called after. It was a land where to be born black was a curse, and to be born white was not only a blessing, but also a passport to untold privileges and status and access to all sorts of opportunities. This is the land where maybe some of us in this room have lived until 1994, but this is the land of our past. This is the land that we left behind, and we held hands together to move forward. We shocked the whole world. We are a generation that has experienced a momentous hour of victory that our forefathers would never have dreamt of. Why is it strange then that we are a nation that looks so sad? We do not celebrate. Day after day, we are becoming a despondent nation. The newspapers we read, the things we see on TV, the reality that we are faced with. Yes, there are problems that confront our nation today, and there are many of them. If I can quote, we note the degree to which economic inequality, previously determined by race, continues to manifest itself in South Africa as an intractable phenomenon. Despite vigorous state interventions, social spending on welfare, education, and health, integrated development plans at all tiers of government, land reform and housing provision, social cohesion remains elusive. We also note the effect of HIV/AIDS, the prevalence and its spread, particularly of malaria in the African continent, the resurgence of TB, and dramatic drop of the average mortality rate, all of which are pointing to a failure in certain systems at our nation. Poor schooling and education and inadequate training of teachers, especially in rural areas of the country, environmental degradation, biodiversity loss, climate change, food security, all of these are calling for innovative, knowledge-based intervention to bolster the knowledge economy in a growth-driven emerging market such as our country. Now, this calls for you as graduates to be able to come up with these innovative solutions as knowledge workers of the future. Yes, I've told you about problems that are big and they are complex, but I think it is disingenuous to fail to celebrate the achievement that we have made against all odds. The successes of the country, I can quote from the science system, one of them. The country has just won the bid to host the Square Kilometre Array, a multi-billion euro partnership that we're hosting 75% of with Australia. The universities in South Africa are ranked among the top in the world because of the contribution of the people in this country and because of the partnerships that we have with the whole world. As soon as you leave here, I invite you to go and celebrate your first step to drive this country as a knowledge society, to celebrate in song and dance. To fail to celebrate would be an insult. We would be like those who spit at the graves of our forefathers. We would be like those who dishonor the names of Nelson Mandela, Walter Sisulu, Robert Sobukwe, Chris Hani, Bears Nodier, and others. Now I'll come to talk about excellence. It is important to hold to our national dream and the challenge of hard work, a challenge to pursue it with excellence, a challenge to pull ourselves with our bootstraps and make success of what we dream of. No one will dream our dream for us but ourselves. No one will make our dream a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, our parents did not struggle to live in a land that looks like the land that we left behind us. We know how South Africa will look like when it is right. So it is our duty to make it right. And I think the duty must weigh heavily on every leader and every knowledge person who is in our society. Whether you are a leader in government, in business, in community, traditional affairs, in education, it is your duty to lead this country. My challenge to you as graduates, we ought to constantly interrogate our daily activities against this question: what am I achieving that is fundamentally different and better than those who were here before me did? If our answer to that question is nothing, then we are betraying our transformational mission. This calls for a spirit that is never satisfied with mediocrity, but is ever striving for excellence, passion for excellence. I am quoting the words of Martin Luther King Jr. as follows: if you can't be a pine on the top of a hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub. If you can't be a river that meanders between the high mountains, then be a stream in the village, but be a good stream. Make the gardens beautiful. If you can't be the sun or the moon, then be a star. Be a twinkling, twinkling little star. Make them wonder who you are, like a diamond in the sky. It isn't that by size that you will win or fail. Just be the best of what you are. You do not need to be a premier to make a contribution to your province. And you do not need to be a mayor to make a contribution to your area. You do not need to be a vice chancellor to make a contribution to your university, or a principal to make a contribution to your school. Some of us will remain just us, but we will make sure that we are the best us. Lastly, redefinition of values and anchoring of efforts on a strong ethical foundation. I must take this opportunity to wish you success and progress. But we must define what are the signs of progress and what are the signs of success. How do we define success? I think it has become a major national project to define what success is. Is it correct that these days we define success by the amount of riches that we accumulate and by how much we flaunt those riches? Is it correct that we define success by the ridiculously huge houses that we build or buy? Is it correct that we recognize successful women and men by the high positions of power and influence? Is it correct that success is measured by the opulence of our lifestyle? To be successful, it must be enormously huge. Small cannot be beautiful. I believe that we are reminded today as graduates that we cannot build a new land, a new South Africa that is caring, compassionate, and humane unless we rewrite our ethical values and redefine what being successful really means. If we are indeed in a wilderness, and we will remain, if we are doing that, we will remain and perish in the wilderness. We cannot define our value as human beings by the size of the things we own. Our value as human beings must be defined by the contribution we make to uplift, to reach out, to reach back, to reach down, and to support others to progress, especially the weakest in our societies. As leaders and people of influence in the societies where we live and lead, as educators and intellectuals and academics, as leaders of our organizations at every level where we lead, as mothers and fathers, uncles and aunts, bigger sisters or bigger brothers to our siblings, I believe we have to make a concerted effort to refocus the moral compass of our generation. We are a generation that needs reschooling so that we know what we will earn our respect in society by the quality of the values we hold and embrace, and not by the abundance of the riches we accumulate for ourselves. In conclusion, I once again congratulate you in your determination and commitment, and would like to remind you, now that you are committed to rebuilding this nation, the environment is conducive. You cannot change your mind, because remember, the cells, when they do that, they die. Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shannon Lewis. I would just like to take this opportunity to congratulate all the graduates present here tonight. I share in your joy and excitement because on Monday evening, I too graduated and received my National Diploma in Management. This is my singing partner, Manlo Davids, and we have been invited to sing and render item in song. The song that we will be singing tonight is called Nessun Dorma. and we sincerely hope that you would enjoy it. Thank you.